Can you hear this? No?
Yes.
This? We working? We working? We good? Hello? Maybe? Is this good? All right, it's good? We're good. All right. Perfect. All right.
It does?
All right. So Good to go? All right. Sorry about all the technical difficulties, everyone, but thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, feel free to become an ACM member. It's free. And if you go to 7 meetings at the end of the year, you are able to go to the banquet. And you can network with a lot of people and get free food. And it's a great time. You should definitely do it. And then also, very importantly, I need you to scan this QR code and sign in with MLH. MLH gave us some money to get snacks and some prizes that we got for this meeting. So I'd really appreciate it if you could log into that. And also a quick all right, yeah, they sponsored our workshop, and they also gave us some stickers, which are somewhere and will be found by the end of the meeting. You can also get a free .tech domain for a year from them by going to this link. It's also on cards that we have over there. More things if you're interested in. You can get access to the GitHub Student Developer Pack for free because you are all students. So make sure you take advantage of that. That's where the StreamYard is. Your percent went down. Fun. Just share my entire screen. Fun. All right. And then if you want to be a student ambassador, you can do that here. And thanks for that. All right. Now over to what you actually all came here for, the Linux workshop. If you want the ACM points, if you already scanned the last link, it's just on ACM UTSA portal, but this will take you to directly to our event. Perfect. All right, so the quick agenda for everything for this meeting is how to navigate the terminal, some tools you might come across and that are you probably frequently use, personalizing the terminal, and we have a very short quizzes at the end, and we may have some prizes for the top 3 winners. All right, and now on to welcome to Linux. So what is Linux anyway? It is an operating system. Like if you use Windows or Mac, well then there's also Unix flavored operating systems. There are many different distributions of Linux you may have heard of, like Ubuntu, Debian, CentOS, Fedora, Arch Linux, and a lot more. Another important thing about Linux, whenever you're around the terminal, everything is a file, and everything is ran inside a file, which are folders or directories, which are basically just a special type of file. And if you're a computer science student, there's something called the flock servers, and in order to log into those, you can just open up a terminal, or they recommend something called Mobile Extern if you've never heard of it on Windows, and you can download that in order to log in, or you can just, again, as I said, like pull up whatever terminal is on your computer. And you can just do SSH or ABC123 at one of the 4 flock server IPs. They all start with 10.100.240, and then they ended .201, .202, .203, or .204. If you're logging in for the first time, you may notice that you don't see anything when you go to type your password. That's because it's just not going to show it to you, but trust it is actually taking it. And if you're using the box servers, you can, your password will be your banner ID if it's the first time you're ever logging in. But also, if you don't want to do that, if you want to test on these and follow along, you can just search up an online Linux terminal. Tons will pop up, or you can just watch me type it. And this is recorded. Okay. And once you get in to Linux, all of your files will have 3 different permissions: read, write, or execute. None of them, all of them, a combination of them. Depending on what user you are, you will have different access or what group you're a part of in. Similar to how if you're in Windows, maybe if you only have administrator privileges, you're able to open something. They'll say, "Oh, are you sure you want to do this?" And yes, similar idea to that. But instead for this, there's something called the super user, and you use the term sudo, and that stands for super user do, so that you can run privileged commands like reboot, installing something, restarting any sort of service, etc. This doesn't really apply to like the Fox servers, but it does apply if you have your own like virtual machine that runs Linux, or if you use something like Windows subsystems for Linux if you have Windows. And then going along, more examples for sudo. You are able to install things by doing, if it's a Debian-based, sudo apt install the name, sudo apt upgrade, sudo apt update. If you want to see everything that's installed on your thing, you can do sudo apt list as well. But that's like the quick overview of Linux and important things. And now into how we move around once you are logged in.
And all right. So once you log in to, like I logged into the Fox servers for the sake of example, it'll look something like this. And you see the little squirrely little line that stands for tilde, and that means that you're in your home directory. In order to list out all the files in your home directory, or in any directory, you can do the command ls. And you will see all the files and folders that are not hidden in your current directory. If you want to see all of the permissions and the size of the file, when the file was created, you can do ls-l. And as you can see the little read, write, execute things that I was talking about earlier. And my current user is able to read, write, and execute this directory because it's mine. And you see there's a D in front of it, and that's how you know it's a folder, a directory. And if I want to go into that folder, I can do cd working, and I was able to type that really fast because I just hit the letter W and then tab, and it will autocomplete everything. However, I mentioned earlier that when you do ls, it'll only show you like the non-hidden files. If you want to see the hidden files, you can do add-a to it, and that will show you all files in your directory. And you can see now there's like 2 dots. The dot stands for the previous directory. So like if I were to do cd ... I would go backwards to my previous directory. And then again, to get back into it, I can just cd into working. And then I want to cd into Linux Workshop, so I'll change directory again, and now I'm here. But what if I wanted to make a new folder or directory? That command is this make directory, or mkdir, and then the name of whatever you want your directory to be. However, if you want to make multiple directories in a row, you can't just do like dir1/dir2 unless you include the option -p. It'll basically fill in any directories that you haven't already created. So now if I were to try to change directories into dir1, dir2, it would do it successfully. And you can also, same idea, instead of just going forward, you can also go backwards 2 in a row. So // will take me back 2 directories to the Linux Workshop original directory that I was in. And there are all the files. If I want to read any of the files, I can use a command called cat, which is short for concatenate, and then just the name of the file that I want to read. And also importantly, in order to see what directory I'm currently in, you do print working directory, or pwd, and that will show me that I'm in my home, my ABC123, and the Linux Workshop file. And then finally, one other important thing, if you just want to create a file, you can use the command called touch and then your file name. Just all the ones I just covered are on the screen here. All right. And then some more important commands before I show you them. There's something called move. If you want to move a file from like your downloads into your documents folder or whatever folder you're in, you can do mv, the name of the file and where it's stored. And then the period stands for your current directory. You'll find that used in lots of different commands. If you just see a dot, it's because they're referring to the current directory. You can also move folders around. And then CP stands for copy. If you want to copy one file to another, If you want to copy directories, you can do that, but you have to make sure that you have it on recursively copying, and you do that with -R. You can also copy multiple files at a time into another directory. And if you want to delete something, you do remove or rm. You can remove a file by just typing rm in the file name. If you want to delete a directory, you have to add -R. If you do -RI, it will ask you for permission before you delete it. If you do -RF, that is forcing, the F stands for force, and it'll just delete it without asking you. So then real quick, back over to here. If I wanted to move example 1 into the new directory I just created, the command would look like that. It's kind of cut off. So move the file name into the directory like so. And then now if I do ls under 1, you can see that the other directory I created is in there and the file I just moved over. And same thing for copy. If I want to make a copy of example 2 into example 6, it would just be like that. And then if I've decided I no longer wanted that copy, oh, I misspelled example, but if I, oh, you can also do move if you want to change your file name. So if I just want to change it to actually being spelling example correctly, you can just do move to change your file name. And finally, to remove example 6, it's just rm example 6. And yeah, those ones are really short. Output redirection. So one of the powerful things about Linux is that you're able to pipe your output from one command into another command. And whenever you pipe things in Linux, it is all strings. It is not an object like in something like PowerShell. Everything is a string. If you want to write something to just like print on your screen, the way you would do that is with a command called echo. And if you do echo some whatever you want to say, like ACMW is awesome, and you do the little like greater than sign into your file name, that will output what you echoed into the file, as well as create the new file if it doesn't already exist, or if it does exist, it will write over the output. However, if you did 2 of the greater than symbols, then it will append whatever you wrote to the end of the file. So very important, because you can't really undo. So if you do write it over, you're out of luck. So make sure you are very careful when doing that. However, if you do the less than sign, then you're able to write output, which I'll show you because it kind of makes more sense then. But basically, if you did like cat, the less than sign in my file, you're able to type in whatever you want to show in that file, and then press Control D to say that you want to stop writing to that file. So just to show you more about what that looks like. So if I wanted to create my new file and I wanted to, I should need to make the file first, apparently. And I wanted to write stuff to it. Oh my gosh. Oh, I put the wrong way on the arrow. I was just, yeah, anyway, it's greater than sign. I don't know why I put less than sign. Anyway, made that fast. It is the greater than sign, because basically whenever you're redirecting somewhere, it's going from the left side into the right side. So if you did like cat and you had nothing there, then it will just concatenate the strings that you're typing out here and put that into your new file, which I know it takes some time. Obviously, I even mistyped it there and wrote random words, but this is a great file. And once I was done with it, you can just press Control D and it will end it. And same thing now, instead of typing it there, if I just wanted to write it on one line and echo it into the file, and then rewrite it over what I just wrote, it would be just echo your new string that you want to be in your file, the greater than sign, and your new file. So now if you were to read it, it would just say ACMW file instead of the whole this is a great file that I wrote there earlier. But if you just wanted to add more on to your file, then again, it's the double greater than sign. And finally, the thing that you're probably going to find yourself using a lot if you're in CS, haven't taken systems, or just have made it past systems, is the pipe. And you do that to take your output from one command and use it as input into your next command. So one command could be sort, and if you just like do sort with no options, it'll sort alphabetically by the first column. So in names.txt, it just has a lot of names. So if I piped it to sort, it will then sort it from A to Z based on the first name. But if I wanted to sort by like the last names, then you can do -K in order to change what column it is sorting by. So instead of -K1, which is the default, it would be -K2 to now sort by last name. So the last name with that is alphabetically first is now at the top, and so on and so forth. And that is a quick example on the pipe command. Any questions so far? I don't know. If you have any throughout, if just for saves at the start, you can like let me know. Or if something doesn't make sense, you can also let me know. And environment variables. So they are set in your terminal session. And if you try, let me restart. If you want to see all your environment variables, you need to see my screen. And you can do print env, which stands for print environment variables. And you'll see all these variables that are in uppercase. A very important one that you may see often is called path. So if you want to like see the value of your variable, you can just do echo $, and then the name of your environment variable, which is in this case is path. And your environment variables are, as they sound, things that are set every time you open in a new terminal. So every time I open up a new terminal, my path will be this. And a path is basically whenever your computer is going to execute a command, it will start from left to right, looking in each of these directories to see, is this command here? Is it in user local sbin? If it's not, then it'll go check, oh, is it in user local bin? If it's not there, is it in user sbin? And so on and so forth until it finds the file, and if it doesn't, then it will tell you that it wasn't able to find your command. If you want to create your own environment variable that just lasts in this session, you can do export your variable name, which is it's good practice to put it in uppercase. So we'll say my variable and then equals whatever you want. And then same thing as with path, if you do echo $, my var, it will not work because I messed something up. It's because I misspelled it. And now. However, as I said earlier, if you just do export in your terminal, it will not be there when you close your terminal and start a new session. If you want it to stay there, you need to edit your configuration file, which if you're using bash would be like your .bashrc file that's in your home directory. On the Fox servers, it's something called, I believe it's the CSHRC directory is where you would have to go. And you can just add your environment variables there using the same syntax. All right. Now we know how to move around the terminal, read files, pipe our output, but there are also a lot of tools in Linux, like a lot. But some of the important ones are find to start out with. Find has a ton of different options. 3 of them are the -name option, which is just what it sounds like. You can put the name of whatever file you are looking for, the -type, so if you're looking for a file or a directory, and then the -empty means are you looking for a file that is empty. Another powerful thing about find is the -exec. And with exec, you're able to execute different commands, just like it sounds like. So you can do -exec and then remove to remove all the files you find. So if you were looking for empty files, you may use the exec, the little brackets, the slash, the semicolon in order to find it. Additionally, when you're using find, you may be doing something where you're trying to search your entire file system, and you may not have the permissions to read every file in your file system. And in that case, it will throw a bunch of errors on your screen and make it very difficult to see which files actually came back. So you can redirect all of your errors to somewhere called dev null. It's just the abyss. It doesn't really matter where it is. It's not on your screen, and that's what matters. So just to show an example of how to do that. So if I was looking for find, and if I do the slash, that'll just search everywhere in my on the server. And I was looking for something with the name example, and then star is a wild card, so it'll like search for anything starting with example. And if I just were to run that right now, you're going to see I have a ton of permission denied since I don't have permission to read all these files. But if I want to redirect that to dev null, it's 2, which stands for standard error, the little redirect greater than sign, and slash dev null. And then it will just show all the files without any of the permissions. And there are a lot of files that say example on here because this is also used by professors and whatnot. But if I just wanted to stick to my directory, I could also put home mine, and it will just show the example files I made. If I just wanted to find files, I could also add the type F. And again, they'll all show up because every example I've made was a file. But if I wanted to only find directories, nothing will show up because none of the example files I created are directories. And then the dash empty will show the example files I made that are empty. And then also, finally, the exec part. So you do dash exec and then whatever command you want to run, which in this case is going to be remove. I want to delete all the empty files I have. These 2 little brackets, the slash and then the semicolon, or the backslash, then the semicolon. And the dash I will confirm that I actually want to delete the files, which is very important because you don't want to go around deleting files. So as you can see, it'll now say, are you sure you want to remove the regular file, this? And I do. And let's say I don't want to delete example 5, then it's just N. And now if I were to just run this find command again to see how many empty example files I have, I only have the one that I said don't delete. grep. So with find, you're usually looking for file names. With grep, you're able to search all of your files to find files that contain whatever string, text, words you're looking for. So again, there's a ton of options for grep. Some common ones are -I, which ignores casing. So if you want to find both uppercase and lowercase words, you would do -I. If you want grep to recursively search through all of your files, that's -R. With grep, it's commonly used so you can use something called the regular expressions. And if you want to use the extended regular expressions, it's -E. If you want to see lines that are before and after your matches, that is -B and then -A. So if you want to see like the 5 lines before, it's -B5 or something. Or if you want to see the 5 lines after, -A5, you can use them one, the other, or both of them. So if I was going to go look for the string ACMW, and I wanted it to be ignore all casing, that's -I. If I want it to recursively search through all the files starting in my home directory, that is -R. And it looks like I don't have any that say that. I don't. All right, but if I go and put the file, then you can now see that it's showing all the lines that start with that have file inside of the document, like so. And then if I also wanted to see the lines before and after, oh, and just to the difference also, if you don't do -R, it will just search this one, or it won't. Okay, whatever. -B, if I want to see the 5 lines before, you can just separate it, or you could probably put it together, but it's easier if you separated it for readability, I think, but personal choice. Now it's showing like the 5 lines before file, like here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then again, 5 lines before the word file. But yeah, grep again is very common. I don't exactly know what's in all of these files right now, but yeah, whenever you're looking for something inside a file, you're going to use grep. That's all right. Next, some miscellaneous things. If you want to know if something's installed on your laptop or your computer, you'd probably use which. Like if you want to know, hey, is Python on here? Which Python? You can do that, and it'll either show you where that command is located. So it'll maybe show user bin Python, or nothing will come back letting you know that it is not installed. If you want to see the history of everything that you have typed, you can just type the word history, and it'll show you line by line everything that you have typed so far in this terminal session. It will be deleted every time you go and open a new terminal. Finally, if you want to see like all the different options, because I barely covered any of the options for most of these commands, you can show the help page by just doing man and then the command. So like man ls. So yeah, just as an example, if I do which Python, I can see that Python is in fact installed on here. But if you can also see if Python, I don't know if they have Python 3 separately. Yeah, they do. But if I search for like which pi, like nothing's going to come back because that doesn't exist. Finally, the history command. So as you can see, I've typed 156 lines since I've opened this terminal, and you can go through and see everything that you've typed. But let's say you like kind of forgot a command. Well, this is when grep could come in, and you can say, oh, I want to see every time I used cat. So that would be grep cat. And now you can see all the lines where you use the command cat. And then finally, the man command. So if nobody remembers all the options for these commands, so you can just do like man grep, and now you can see all of the different options and a little explanation about what each of the options do. And then I'm just hitting the down key in order to scroll through it. And then whenever you want to quit, you can just type Q. And then, yeah, man exists for pretty much every command. So like for ls, you can see the -a that I talked about earlier, the stuff I didn't talk about. But as I said, there's a lot. All right. Importantly, for the Fox servers, there's something called Vim on there. It's a text editor. Some people really love it. I don't, but it's important. It's what's on the Fox server, so it's kind of important to know how to get in and out of it, because infamously, people get stuck in Vim and don't know how to get out. So in order to first like start typing in Vim, you just hit the letter I on your keyboard. So I did Vim a file. If I just like start hitting letters, nothing's gonna type because I'm not technically in like insert mode. But if I hit I, then you'll see the word insert appear on the screen, and I'm able to now type words. However, when I want to now leave this file, I need to first press escape, and then you'll see inserts now gone, and then hit a colon, so shift and then the semicolon. In order to save, that is the letter W. So this will now save all the work, or write it to a file. However, whenever I want to quit, it's Q, or you can also combine both of them and do WQ, QW. Doesn't really matter the order. Or apparently it does. WQ. I just learned something new. Wow. All right. And then if I wanted to like delete everything I just typed, you could go through and like hit insert and then backspace. But you can also use shortcuts, which is why a lot of people like them. If you do DD on one line, that will delete the whole entire line. Now I'm just going to type some stuff, just some other like real quick shortcuts that might help you out. I'm just going to type stuff. Once you hit escape, and if you, let's say you want to go to the start of the line, because whenever you go down, hit the down key, you see I'm just going at the end of the line. If you don't want to hit the left arrow and go all of the way over, you can hit 0 and it will jump right to the start. However, if you want to jump right back to the end, you can hit $, and you will now be at the end. And that will also importantly put you at the end of including the white space character. So if I were to add some white spaces here, it will then put me where the white space is in. If I want to go to the first non-white space character, that is going to be G underscore, which is hard to remember. I imagine if you do it over time, it'll come through. And then same thing, if you have white spaces at the start of a line and you want to go to the first non-white space character at the start of a line, it is just the little caret arrow thing whenever you hit like Shift 6. And that, yeah, those are some, again, there's so much with Vim, but those are just the quick ones. Again, I to insert, semicolon WQ to save and quit. If you want to quit without saving, it is just Q and the exclamation mark. Oh, there we go. And that will quit and it won't save anything that you've just done. Yeah. So now you see it's back to what I had before I typed in a bunch of random words.
Customizing your terminal. So there's something called like your RC files, like bash RC, or on the Fox servers, CSHRC, and those are your configuration files. And in those files are where you can set things like an alias. So if you don't want to type out all the options every time you do something like ls, and every time I type ls, I want to list the files, I want to see the hidden files, and I want to have the auto color on. Then you can do alias ls equals ls dash la dash color equals auto, and put that in your .rc file, or again CSHRC file on the Fox servers, so that every time you run ls, it will substitute in that whole entire command. Also, in your RC files, you can add like coloring to your PS1, or basically where your name at whatever the name of your machine is. You can add coloring to it. On Vim, you can set your tab sizes in your Vim RC file. So if you want your tab to always be 4, you can set your auto tab rate there. And yeah, but the main thing to know about the RC files, you can change colors there, and you can also do something like more complex if you don't want to write it yourself, because that's a lot of work. There's stuff called like oh my bash and oh my ZSH, and also tons of example bash RC files on GitHub, one of which I downloaded. And if you want to just change how your terminal looks, whenever you to just run it, it's just source, and then as you can see now I have color on it. And yeah, that's one example of what you can do. Yeah, I didn't write it because it's a lot of stuff, but I don't know, but basically that'll set the auto coloring to color your prompt. But again, as I said earlier, if you want to add your aliases and you want them to stay persistent every time you open a new terminal, then you can do alias. Well, I'll do whatever earlier, ls equals ls dash la, and then color equals auto. And then again, to escape Vim, escape, shift, semicolon, WQ. And now every time I do ls, let me get, oh, wait, no, before, you won't see your changes working right away unless you were to either log back in or do source.s, that's the name of your RC file, so bash RC or CSHRC. So now when I do ls, it will do the dash LA, and now you can see there's colors because the coloring is on. But yes, I would definitely recommend over this using something like oh my bash or ZSH. But if you just want to, edit your Fox servers to look pretty, you can stick with that. Finally, there's definitely a lot more to know about Linux. I will probably post some of this later, but there's lots of great cheat sheets like this one. I believe it's from the University of Alabama. There's free labs you can do where you can basically just run a virtual machine in your browser for free on Try Hack Me. They have Linux Fundamentals Part 1, 2, and 3. They're really great. I recommend those. If you really want to get your hands on it, you can install a virtual machine like Ubuntu or Windows subsystems for Linux, which is really easy. If you have Windows, you can just open PowerShell and do WSL -- install, and it will install Ubuntu on your machine, and then you will be able to use all of your Linux commands just in a new little window on your Windows machine.
And then, of course, there are tons of YouTube videos out there. All right. Finally, the quizzes. It's just 8 questions, and if you win it, you get a bracelet. So it should be. We made them ourselves. They're pretty great. But let me start it because I don't believe it is started quite yet. All right, and then if you need the code, you can just search up quizzes, and that is the game code. Yeah, and we couldn't do Kahoot because apparently there were limits on that, and they make you pay for like everything there now, so that's why it's not Kahoot. Is it not working? Is what? Oh, in the game code? Oh yeah, that's what I was testing right now. Yeah, there isn't. I don't know what. There's not actual space. It's just 018697. In the game code. I just searched up. If you go to join my quizzes, or if you just like, I can put the. If you just search up quizzes, and then the first link that shows is join my quizzes. Here it's QUIZZIZ, and I guess I don't know if the QR code is working. I don't know if it is. Let me. Yeah, the QR code's not wanting to work. So that's if you just go to that and then 018697, it will work. QUIZIZZ. Mm-hmm. Please play. So we please. Should we start it? I mean, anyone that plays right now is winning, so. 4 people. All right. Yeah. ACM-Dubs. All right. I don't know if anyone else wants to join in, but stop me now. I'm just gonna start it. Yeah. You will lose your opportunity to win a fantastic ACMW bracelet. All right. Oh, yes, Parker. Thank you. Oh my gosh, that wasn't covered. I think I deleted that slide. This is bonus. It's all right. It's extra credit. Yeah. Oh, it's a type in one too? It's cat in reverse. I did just say the answer for whoever hasn't answered yet. It's TAC. TAC. Yeah. Oh, I got it. ACM-W. Yeah, you have a minute. Does it show like underscores for how many letters it is? Okay. The last two I know were type in ones. I remember doing those. Yes. There's one more to yeah. It's man cow say.
Oh, I didn't like see it.
That one is A good? That doesn't make sense. Yeah. Everything is bits and bytes. Yeah. A file. All right. ACM Dubs, Beanie, and Wreck-It Manny. You all get a bracelet. Yeah. Oh yeah, I see exactly. You guys see that? I was trying to see who got the tack command right. The tack one. So was that, I don't remember what question that was. Yeah. Well, good job. All right. If you got it, where are the stuff? All right. Can you bring it all up to the front? All right. Oh, did you put the stickers out? All right, yeah, and also even if you didn't win, we have like stickers and some NLA swag. So if you did win, come up here and retrieve your. We have you can get a free bracelet, or if you win one of the.
Can we have the winners up here, please?
Yeah.
I need to take pictures of the cute faces.
All right. Yes. Thanks.
It's the third one online.
Who's the third one?
Travis online. Come on, friend.
There you go.
You have to come up front.
Wreck-It Manny, or who won it? I already forgot. Wreck-It Manny. That's you got 4. You know what? We have. Oh, is it online? Is Manny online or? You know what? We have like enough for the top 4 actually. We have so. If you got 4th, right? Wait, is your name Travis? Perfect. We have enough for the top 4. So we made extra because like some of them are ridiculously large. You'll see. Anyway. Yes, it's the person online. Well, tell him to come to the ACM room and retrieve. Wreck-It Manny, come to the ACM room at some point this week, and you can retrieve your free bracelet. Free bracelet, yay! You're winning. You get some to the next place. All right, perfect. I can't.
You're the real winner.
No. All right. Yes, and then we have them all over here. Feel free to take your pick. Whoever, yeah. Different sizes. Huh?
You make all these?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah,
we made them all. I made some more so that we had different sizes. Yeah, this is the last one real quick. In October 5th, our next meeting is going to be a robotics meeting with RAS about servo motors and being able to build one. So yes, Parker.
Really?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Thank you all for coming. By the way, make sure you take your free snacks and get your sign in on portal if you haven't. Yes.
Yeah. That is all.